lies to say that this was all Michael Cohen. And the lies are also very significant. One of the things that always get a prosecutor's attention are needless lies. People only lie.
Much easier when you have no aspirations or hopes of winning.
Consciousness of guilt. It's because you
So much easier to swing the club.
If these were just innocuous connections with Russia to talk about legitimate business deals that are very legal and very cool, in the words of President Trump, there's no need to lie about these contracts. But if instead it's something more nefarious, that's why people lie, that's why people tell shifting stories. You know, look no further than the misleading press release about the meeting at Trump Tower to suggest that there is something there that's worth digging for.
Is it normal, Carolyn, in the course of a political campaign to have this many contacts?
All right. I vow to aim today. To aim.
The family of the candidate to try and get him in?
What's up with that?
No, it's not. And, you know, Katie, that also surfaces another issue in this, in what has been revealed so far in the special counsel's probe. You know, while all of these Russians were reaching out to and trying to touch and brush up against various Trump campaign members, we now know Donald Trump himself was still pursuing, through Cohen and through others, a fairly lucrative project in Moscow. And Michael Cohen, at least, we don't know who else he confirmed about this, but Michael Cohen, at least, was hearing back from somebody in the Kremlin about that business deal and was being promised certain things that haven't entirely been shared with us. But it's sort of amazing that all of these touches were being made during the campaign at the same time that the Trump organization had something big on the line. And remember from our previous reporting, you know, Michael Cohen was essentially trying to please his boss, that he knew his boss wanted a Moscow tower, and he was going to, you know, he was going to do everything he could to make it happen.
Carolyn and Barbara McQuaid, ladies, thank you. And next, when it comes to the investigation, what's left and what's next?
Already starting the chunkiness. Ay.
Answers to the same old questions. 24 hours after living through that horrific mass shooting,
back-to-back devastation.
these helicopters looking for any body of water to make drops on that massive inferno.
The zip code you're born into can determine your future. Your school, your job, your dreams, your problems. But at the Y, we create opportunities for everyone, no matter who you are or where you are.
That's not a good start.
For a better us, donate to your local Y today.
I just got my cashback match. Is this for real? Yeah, we match all the cashback new card members earn at the end of their first year automatically. Whoa, I got my money! Hard to contain yourself, isn't it? Let go!
Get a dollar-for-dollar match at the end of your first year, only from Discover.
I switched to Liberty Mutual because they let me customize my insurance. And as a fitness junkie, I customize everything. Like my bike and my calves.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car
Bye-bye.
insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I've been grilling for a long time now. I've got a certain way I like it. Right, more heat. Another thing I like is consumer cellular. I get unlimited talk and text for just $25 a month. No contract. Switching was easy. Now the bill is half what it used to be. And they have all kinds of phones. I got a new smartphone. She likes her flip phone.
Okay, see you soon. We both kept our phone numbers too.
They received the JD Power Award for highest customer
Good start.
service.
Good job.
And
Yep.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, so we trust them.
For my favorite grandson.
Reliable nationwide coverage for way less money. That's the way.
We like it.
Get wireless the way you like it. Plans start as low as $50
Always
a month.
bogey that first hole.
Nationwide coverage and no contracts. Switch today and get a $20 credit on any new line of service. Call 1-800-379-9565. Go online or find us at Target.
George woke up in pain, but he has plans today.
So close.
So he took a leave.
But yet, so far.
Stopping from
Stop.
pills
Stop.
right.
Oh, you
This is
bastard.
to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. All day strong. Second down is the
Nothing but a
funniest.
bang.
The most romantic.
She's completely on fire.
Most inspiring.
Kind of who I want to be when I grow up.
Comedy of the year.
Okay.
Second act, rated PG-13.
Renewal by Anderson is discounting everything during our patio door and window combo special.
The wrong direction.
On patio doors and save 20% on windows with zero money down, zero payments, and zero interest for 1 year. Imagine a patio door that easily opens and closes, one that's engineered to provide you with maximum security. Imagine a beautiful window that's custom built to make your home more comfortable, one that's meticulously installed by certified master installers. Get either or both windows and patio doors and save with Renewal by Anderson's patio door and window combo special. Save 20% on patio doors and save 20% on windows with zero money down, zero payments, and zero interest for a whole year. Call today, and then during your free quote, we'll give you a price that's good for a whole year. Call 1-800-918-1616.
They connected President Trump to the hush money that was supposed to cover up his affairs. They connected his friends to Russians. And they highlighted all the lies from Trump's inner circle about those connections. But for as much as we learned on Friday, there are other aspects of the investigation still on the table, including two names that we've been reporting on for the past few weeks. Roger Stone and Jerome Corsi. Both say they expect Robert Mueller to indict them. But as of today, both are still waiting. Joining me, NBC News intelligence and national security reporter Ken Delanian, and back with me, former assistant U.S. attorney Kim Whaley. Ken, what's going on with Corsi and Stone? There's been a lot of talk about them, but so far no filings.
That's right. That's the shoe we're waiting to drop, Katie. And as a matter of fact, over the weekend, Jerome Corsi filed a rather dramatic and outlandish lawsuit against Robert Mueller and various government agencies, seeking $350 million in damages and accusing Mueller of all manner of misconduct, including leaking grand jury information, which for anybody who's been following this investigation is extremely hard to believe. But you know, we've all been expecting, because both Stone and Corsi, as you said, have proclaimed publicly that they believe they will be charged. We've been expecting to see some paper on them, and we just haven't. And it remains to be seen, for example, will they be charged with simply lying to investigators? Or, you know, recall that Robert Mueller indicted a bunch of Russians in a conspiracy to defraud the United States over hacking the Democrats, and there was some expectation at the time that eventually some Americans may be charged as a part of that conspiracy. So that's one string that's hanging out there. Another one, Katie, is the National Rifle Association. You know, today we learned that Maria Butina, this accused Russian agent, has changed her plea, or is moving to change her plea, and maybe cooperating with the government. She had close ties to the NRA. And there was a report earlier this year that the FBI was investigating whether Russian money was flowing through the NRA to the Trump campaign. That is a little explored avenue of all this Russia probing that could bear some fruit down the road. So those are two things that I think we didn't hear about the filings that are still hanging out.
In looking back at Corsi and Roger Stone, we did see a draft filing the other day. I know one of our colleagues, Anna Schechter, was able to get a hold of that from Jerome Corsi, from Robert Mueller's team. Again, it's a draft. It hadn't been filed. But it seemed to be looking at whether or not there was a back channel between WikiLeaks and Roger Stone, and then by extension, the Trump campaign, or potentially Trump himself. If it ends up that is the way that Robert Mueller's team is Corsi and Stone, what piece of the puzzle would that fit into?
Well, so that's the theory under which Stone and Corsi were a conduit between WikiLeaks, which had the hacked emails, and the Trump campaign. And that plea agreement suggested that Corsi had advanced knowledge that John Podesta's emails had been hacked by the Russians. He knew that before the war, and he has denied that. But a lot of people look at that and say, look, if Robert Mueller has to rest a case for collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians on the likes of Roger Stone and Jerome Corsi, that's not a very strong case. So presumably, if he's going to go in that direction, he's got more than that. And it just remains a mystery. The other thing that's hanging out there, Katie, of course, is obstruction of justice. James Comey was
not used to that rollout yet. It's kind of freaking me out.
The FBI lawyer let it slip that Comey is a witness in Mueller's obstruction of justice case. Now, we've all known that Mueller is investigating whether the president obstructed justice, but this was the first official confirmation of that. And that was not at all in any of these filings on Friday. Friday, but it's certainly something that we're going to hear more about.
See if we can keep from going down that freaking hill like always.
At some point, I mean, we have Jerome Corsi, we have Roger Stone. Ken was just talking about Maria Butina. There was another separate filing that was a mistake that went out there about WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. When Robert Mueller's report eventually comes out, do you expect that all of these things that we're hearing, drips and drabs, will be tied together in one place?
Well, the
Come on,
report,
stay
I
up.
would assume would be heavily redacted. I think the
Stay
what's
up.
quite interesting, but that we haven't
Stay
talked
up.
about, is the fact that the president nominated someone who's highly respected and experienced to take over as Attorney General. So the concern that Mr. Whitaker was put in place to upset the investigation hasn't come to fruition, and I think it was a legitimate concern given that Rod Rosenstein is very well qualified to be acting Attorney General. So I say this because I think that this train is moving, and as much as Trump and his team wants to say no collusion, unless people just want to deny the facts that are public, that's just kind of not really realistic anymore, that turn of events, or that version of events. And we have to assume, we know from Manafort's filing, that Mr. Mueller offers to provide in camera, that is secretly to the judge, information about other pending criminal investigations and unindicted, uncharged individuals. So this is, and I know this from Ken Stark's probe, which was much smaller than this. This is the very much proverbial states.
Ken, what are we looking for next? What's the next filing? Or the next court hearing?
That 12 stem.
Next, many consider it the second most prestigious job in Washington. So why doesn't anyone want it?
I'm Ray, and I quit smoking with Chantix. Smoking, it dictates your day. I didn't like something having control over me. I wanted to stop. Thing is I didn't know how.
Chantix, along with support, helps you quit smoking.
Chantix reduced my urge to smoke until the point that I could quit.
When you try to quit smoking, with or without Chantix, you may have nicotine withdrawal symptoms. Some people have changes in behavior or thinking, aggression, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, or suicidal thoughts or actions with Chantix. Serious side effects may include seizures,
such a bad spot.
blood vessel problems, sleepwalking, or allergic skin reactions, which can be life-threatening. Stop Chantix and get help right away if you have any of these.
For me, Chantix worked. Boom. End the story.
Talk to your doctor about Chantix.
George woke up in pain, but he has plans today. So he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve. All day strong.
Oh, that's way too much.
Today's senior
Wow.
living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, and petrol services. And there's never been an easier way to get great advice.
What was that?
Place Your Mom is a free service that pairs you with a local advisor to help you sort through your options and find the perfect place. A place for mom. You know your family. We know senior living. Together we'll make the right choice.
If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for someone special to you, give a gift that will be truly appreciated. The Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package. It's filled with $232
Stop.
of great food for just
Stop.
$59.99. That's 70%
Stop.
off only on this special holiday
Oh,
offer.
you gotta be kidding me.
Four
The
tender
fuck are you
filet
doing?
mignons, 4 extra thick boneless pork chops, 4 premium boneless chicken breasts.
Perfect time for this course. My short game is so shit right now.
Order will be delivered straight to your home or the destination of your choice, so you can give this wonderful gift to anybody on your holiday list. As a special holiday gift from us to you, if you order right now, we'll include 4 additional Omaha Steaks burgers free. That's 8 total. You get it all. Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package, a $232 value for just $59.99. Give everyone a gift they can appreciate. Give them the favorite gift package from Omaha Steaks today.
Wayfair can make home shopping easy.
Hit the strings. Swing straight here early.
These new tools make my shopping a breeze. I can play in my room while falling asleep.
How about Wayfair? You can just.
No, it's not good.
Discover easier home shopping at Wayfair, where it's find and unwind.
Wayfair, just reminds me.
is a delivery app that lets you order any food your heart and stomach desire. So you can order this, or maybe a little bit of this. Order from over 85,000 restaurants nationwide. Grubhub, restaurants you love, delivered.
The search is underway for another White House chief of staff, the third chief in less than 2 years. On Saturday, the president confirmed John Kelly will get out by the end of 2018. And even though all signs pointed to the vice president's chief of staff, Nick Ayers, as the person who would take that job, the 36-year-old declined the offer.
These aren't normal grades, are they?
The administration at the end of the year. So who's it now?
Such luck.
Includes, among others,
Just sucking.
Congressman Mark Meadows, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, and the president of the New York Yankees, Randy Levine. Joining me, NBC News White House correspondent Jeff Bennett and NBC News national political reporter Carol Lee. Jeff, what happened with Nick Ayers first? Why is he not taking the job?
Well, we understand that that Nick Ayers and President Trump could not come to an agreement in terms of the time frame. That President Trump wanted a 2-year commitment from Nick Ayers. He wanted him to see out the rest of the first term, but that Nick had already planned his wife that their young family would go back to Georgia at the end of the year. There was also a disagreement, we understand, over whether or not Nick would have hiring and firing authority. But you have to imagine that in any other era, in any other administration, a job like this for a young, ambitious guy like Nick Ayers would certainly be a resume booster, but in this case, apparently not so much. So now he gets to go back to Georgia, he gets to do right by his family, he gets to stack some cash working at the Trump Super PAC, and he gets to avoid all of the political bruises that likely would have come his way by being Trump's chief of staff. So, look, well played, Nick Ayers.
Oh, you got to straighten that thing out a little bit. Come on.
To step into the fray, and all day we've been doing reporting about that list of people you just showed, and it's not clear who has emerged as the backup plan, as the president's second top pick, Katie.
You know, in looking at the names that we have on this board here, Mick Mulvaney, the president, didn't really know who he was when he was asked about him a few months back. Steve Mnuchin doesn't seem to want the job. He only says he works 4 days a week now. Matt Whitaker, maybe. Mark Meadows, I know he has a good relationship with the president. Randy Levine seems a bit out of left field. I know he's close with Mnuchin.
Oh, I'm so glad that didn't read.
Sticks out to me. He is somebody who was on the campaign, and he's somebody
that was going right of right.
Is he someone that would be desirous of this job? Is it something that would be better for him than the job he's doing right now?
And that's one left.
We'll look over the course.
Hey, why not? Oh, that's really bad.
Of that list of people you just showed moving down and potentially off the list are probably David Bossie and Randy Levine at the New York Yankees. In fact, Levine said that he had never been approached and wasn't all that interested. I think at the very top of the list you have Mark Meadows, who put out a statement saying it would be a great honor to serve as chief of staff. And then you have Mnuchin and Mulvaney, who, of course, are already in the administration. Both of them, we're told, could be convinced to say yes if that was the ask, but they don't want to be seen as being too eager to take the job.
Interesting. Carol Lee. Carol, people that the president has chosen to be his generals have not fared well. That's the latest headline in an article that you offered today.
Yeah, Katie, my colleagues and I wrote a story about that, took a look at how President Trump's fascination with military generals has kind of faded a little bit. You recall he was famous for saying that he would pick the best generals, that the generals that he picked would come into his administration for central casting, and he would cast them to play themselves in the movie.
Oh, that's
and now,
just
we've
wonderful.
seen one by one a number of them just not kind of click with the president over time, whether it's, from Michael Flynn to General McMaster, who's the next National Security Advisor, to John Kelly, to James Mattis. And, so now we've seen the president kind of, his fascination with generals kind of fade once the reality set in that, in fact, these were not a bunch of people who were going to do exactly what he said he wanted and weren't going to basically be yes-men to him. And so
garbage
positions have been filled since with generals leaving the
fucking
administration
garbage.
with people who aren't in the military.
Presumably people who have their own set of principles, and presumably people who like to abide by a certain regimen. If you're in the military, you like to abide by a certain regimen. Order over chaos. Donald Trump is pretty chaotic. What kind of person wants to work in this administration, Carol?
Well, that's the big question, Katie, is who is going to want to come in, and when you look at a job, particularly if you just take a chief of staff job, when you look, if someone's looking at that job and sees, Ryan Priebus, who had a big extensive background in Republican politics and was well known around town, he didn't last even a year. He was out by the summer. And then you have John Kelly, who is a decorated general and who came in to restore order and was initially very well received, and then just over time, his relationship with the president deteriorated. He became mired down in controversies, and he lost the White House staff. And so, if you're looking at that and you're thinking about coming into the White House, you'd probably think again, because anyone who takes this job, which is a job to begin with, but particularly so under Donald Trump, is in for kind of a rude awakening. That's what we've seen with the first two White House chiefs of staff under President Trump.
And this is Jeff Bennett and Carol Lee. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Katie.
And next, is this presidency finally getting to Wall Street?
This is my body proof.
Proof of less joint pain.
And clearer skin.
Proof that I can fight psoriatic arthritis.
With Humira. Humira targets and blocks a specific source of inflammation that contributes to both joint and skin symptoms.
Yeah, I figured.
Relieve pain. Stop further irreversible joint damage. And clear skin in many adults. Humira is the #1 prescribed biologic for psoriatic arthritis.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask your rheumatologist about Humira. Go to mypsaproof.com to see proof in action. For powerful suction, you need a Shark. With 2 swappable batteries and maximum suction, the Shark INF80 has more runtime than the Dyson V10 Absolute. Or choose the upright model for whole home cleaning, only from Shark.
Are you thinking of buying a stair lift? This essential free guide will answer all your questions. You can find out how a stair lift can improve your life in a few easy steps with this free guide packed full of detailed information. All of your questions answered. What should I think about when buying a stair lift?
All right.
What type of stair lift will suit
Finally got to the easy part.
What difference can a stair lift make in my life? Answers to these and many more with this free guide to buying a stair lift. A stair lift can be crucial to you staying independent in your own home. They were invented to make your life easier. And this free practical guide, produced with the help of Acorn Stair Lifts, will make it easier for you to choose the one that's right for you.
Wow.
So call now.
Yeah.
1-800-401-5714 for your free copy of your guide to buying a stair lift. And have all
Yeah,
of the
just-
questions
oh
answered
my
today.
goodness.
1-800-401-5714.
How to be a holiday hero with
Step 1.
Get the SodaStream.
Step 2.
Save up to 2,000 bottles a year by using 1 reusable bottle.
Step 3.
Raise a glass for the holidays. Make sparkling water and help save the planet. Risk-free for 30 days. For the best deal of the season, go to SodaStream.com and save up to 40%. Get your SodaStream
You bastard.
SodaStream is now at least 5 retailers.
You love your freedom, but is joint pain holding you back? Unlike other creams, Joint Flex helps strengthen joints and gives quick and long-lasting pain relief. Flex your freedom with Joint Flex.
We're a few days away from the ATMs not working.
Suddenly, folks were getting wiped out.
I asked her we had a fulgurant depression. Bernanke said, now it looks like work.
I'm just going to get it together. That was fair. And we did it without a
Come on back. All the way.
The fact that the American public hates what we did is not surprising, because in many ways it's un-American.
Washington feels more chaotic than ever. It's my job to ask the tough questions, left and right, and help you make sense of it all.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
this moment, the Dow is fluctuating. It's been up and down all morning, bouncing around. It was up 10 just a second ago. Now it's down 10. It even dipped back into correction a little bit earlier today, meaning it was down 10% from its record close 2 months ago. Up until last week, U.S. markets had largely shrugged off turmoil abroad and here at home, but it doesn't seem to be the case any longer. Affecting the last week alone, uncertainty surrounding trade deals with China, uncertainty surrounding the UK's plans to leave the EU, uncertainty surrounding social unrest in France, and big uncertainty at the White House. Per the New York Times, more volatility could be in store as investors assess the allegations by prosecutors that President Trump directed illegal payments to ward off a potential sex scandal, and the possibility that he sought to secretly do business in Russia during his 2016 campaign for the White House. Joining me, CNBC editor-at-large John Harwood. John, explain what's going on.
Well, Katie, the economy's slowing down. We had a burst of growth, 4.2% in the second quarter, 3.5% in the third quarter, that was fueled by those tax cuts in late 2017. But now the economy is slowing down. We're looking at continued slowing through 2019 and 2020, even a possible recession in 2020. And those underlying facts, combined with all of the things that you mentioned, the global slowdown in growth, the uncertainty about Brexit, the trade conflicts, the Mueller investigation, all of that has financial markets jittery, and we're going to see a lot of gyration back and forth as we have for the last couple of weeks. I think for a while now, until the situation clarifies both on trade and on President Trump and his future in the job.
Well, many of these things have been going on now for a little while, John. Why is it suddenly affecting the markets? I mean, there's been uncertainty at the White House for 2 years. Brexit has been a problem for the UK now for 2 years about. France has gone up and down. There's been an on and off trade war with China. Why today, or why last week, and last year?
Went and consulted with some old notes, and it turns out that I'm just not pissed off enough.
We've just had the solution. Democrats
get pissed off and swing harder.
Representatives in January.
So let's see how that goes.
For the Trump administration and less political cover from Republicans, and so that adds to the uncertainty. And we're further down the road on the tariff wars. Remember the tariff provocations that the president initiated were not really initiated in 2017. He talked a little bit about it, but it was really 2018 where that's gone from.
Yeah, that's not it.
Our major adversaries like China.
Gotta get madder.
And so all of those
not
things
mad enough
At
yet.
the same time, Theresa May, of course, had to pull that vote on Brexit. I think it's where we are in the life cycle of all these particular issues, and the fact that they're all ripening right as Mueller is reporting and right as Democrats are getting ready to take over the House.
Is it one for some people to worry that we're heading towards a recession?
Oh, that could be bad news.
In fact, in a recent survey among business,
that's bad news.
2/3 of them said
stay.
By 2020.
A little help from a friendly spline.
The first president since Jimmy Carter to run for re-election, should he run, in conditions of a recession, if that were to come true. That ended very badly for Jimmy Carter. He lost 44 states. Now, there's some people, Greg Mankiw, who was the top economic advisor to George W. Bush, told me he still thinks only 25% chance. But one thing we know is the chances are higher than they were 6 months ago, and that has everybody nervous.
Listen to this quote from the New York Times. The fact is that politics is driving the economy to an extent that is very atypical. We would say probably to the greatest extent that we've seen in our investing lifetime. Politics driving the economy to the greatest extent in our lifetime. That's a pretty bold statement, John.
I think, Katie, that's because we haven't had a president like Donald Trump in our lifetime. Somebody who is more heedless of the norms of the office, the conventional way the office is done, who's in deeper trouble. The amount of legal jeopardy that he faces is worse than any president since Richard Nixon, and we may look back
later and say that his scale of jeopardy exceeded that of Richard Nixon. He's got his national security advisor, having pled guilty to a felony, his campaign chairman, his personal lawyer. All of these things suggest a leadership crisis within the United States and therefore the Western world that we have not seen.
CNBC's John Harwood. Good to see you, my friend.
You bet.
Everything going left.
These four governments are trying to get you.
Oh, wow. I'm down. It's so terrible today.
Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repairs derm-proven retinol works so fast, it takes only 1 week to reveal younger-looking skin, making wrinkles look so last week. Rapid
So terrible.
Pair with new
Wow. Go in the water.
wrinkle-fighting power. Neutrogena.
No more excuses with Cologuard.
We all make excuses for things we don't want to do. But when it comes to colon cancer screening,
I'm not doing that. I eat plenty of
as I was saying, with Cologuard, you don't need an excuse.
All that prep? No thanks. That drink tastes horrible.
But there's no prep with Cologuard.
I can't take the time off work. Who has 2 days? And I feel fine. No symptoms.
Everybody listen. All you need is a trip to the bathroom. If you're 50 or older and at average risk, Cologuard is the non-invasive option that finds 92% of colon cancers. You just get the kit in the mail, go to the bathroom, collect your sample, then ship it to the lab.
Gotta get back to even. Gotta get one before you can get some.
Including those with a history of colon cancer or pre-cancer, IBD, certain hereditary cancer syndromes, or a family history of colon cancer. Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you. Covered by Medicare and most major insurers.
Don't you wish you'd still get that excited about something?
Christmas morning feeling? You've got Wayfair. Shop everything home at Wayfair.com.
If you live with diabetes, why fingerstick when you can
nope.
Freestyle Libre 14-day system. Just scan the sensor with your reader or iPhone and manage your diabetes. With the Freestyle
Go up
Libre
here
14-day
somewhere.
system, a continuous glucose monitor, you can check your glucose levels anytime without fingersticks.
Angle.
Ask your doctor to write a prescription for the new Freestyle Libre 14-day system. You can do it without fingersticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Oh no. Oh yes.
Sometimes ideas, like the Oakland Zoo's California Trail Expansion Project, are so groundbreaking, they take a quarter of a century to surface. That's why at Fremont Bank, we ensure our clients have the resources they need when they need them most. Because one of the perks of working with a local partner is
not that far over there. Oh yeah, get on the $2. There you go.
This is Andy Masterakis, CEO of Fremont Bank. For more partnerships and action stories, visit Fremont Bank.
13.5 par 3 challenge.
Biggest sale of the year. The perfect time to buy. The annual DGDG.com year-end sales event. 17 brands and over 5
Here on the tee of the 13.5 hole.
huge factory incentives.
He's got a sandwich in his hand.
No-brainer pricing of the year.
Hasn't hit the ball all day, but he feels it with his man.
The trusted resource. It's our biggest sale of the year. So hurry and happy holidays. DGDG.com.
One more thing.
I can miss that.
Final week of the UN climate talks in Poland, and we could see fireworks when foreign ministers work to change the minds of the United States, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. Delegates and scientists are baffled after the four oil allies joined forces Saturday, refusing to welcome a new dire report on climate change that warned to avoid catastrophic global warming. World leaders have less than 10 years to cut carbon emissions in half. It is a Herculean effort under the best circumstances. By not welcoming the report, the U.S., Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait have essentially given themselves the right to ignore it and charge ahead with domestic policies that increase coal and oil production and, in effect, increase CO2 emissions. Just last week, the Global Carbon Project revealed CO2 emissions rose globally last year. Despite the clear facts in front of him, the president continues to squeeze his eyes shut and jam his fingers in his ears. He's refusing to back down from backing out of the Paris Climate Accords. And he's shrugging off his own administration's critical climate report, warning of more extreme weather and billions of dollars.
Get on the other side of that fairway.
Just this week, he claimed people are not okay with the cost of maybe protecting the planet. And here's the thing. So long as people like you and me, aren't out there demanding it be addressed, then voting on it, Trump will be right. That'll wrap things up for me this hour. Ali Velshi, my friend, I have no voice.
But you used it well. What voice you had, you used well.
I'm going to try and save it because I have the 5 p.m. hour to do as well.
Yeah, by the way, we're not getting anywhere close to cutting carbon emissions. We've actually increased carbon emissions.
We increased, exactly.
Yeah, so it's actually Herculean. Everybody needs to be on board, particularly.
Everybody needs to be on the same page, which is why the Paris Climate Accords were so consequential.
Correct.
Why it was such a big deal that everybody was coming together, and why it was so devastating that Donald Trump decided to do that.
So people, as you said, have to vote. They've got to think about it. They've got to realize we're in it. This isn't about the future.
Not just a couple hundred people protesting on Capitol Hill. It's got to be.
No, it's got to be everybody's business. All right, thanks, Katie. See you at 5 o'clock. All right. Good afternoon. I'm Ali Velshi. Crimes and lies. NBC News has learned that former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort plans to formally respond to the crimes and lies that special counsel Robert Mueller says he committed. Manafort's response is expected this week. It's going to address the broken plea agreement that Mueller's team laid out. We're going to talk more about the revelations from Friday's filings about Manafort and Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen in a moment. But first, President Trump already shifting his defense on the Mueller probe as the investigation heats up. He's been tweeting as expected, first getting his misspelling of no smoking gun trending on Twitter, then referring to hush money payments made by Cohen to 2 women during the campaign by saying it was done correctly by a lawyer and there would not even be a fine. But the New York Times reports that federal prosecutors have ramped up their focus on what other executives in the president's family about those crimes. Let's get started with NBC News. Jeff Bennett at the White House. Good afternoon, Jeff.
Hey there, Ali. Look, President Trump is again distancing himself from Michael Cohen, now placing responsibility for any crimes stemming from that hush money paid to those women during the 2016 campaign on his former lawyer and fixer. Now, as we know, based on Cohen's plea, individual one, Donald Trump, is the one who schemed to silence these 2 women about the affairs that they said that they had with him before the 2016 election. And Cohen, as we also know, acknowledged that those payments
holy straight ball, Batman.
Campaign donations, and he said he arranged them for those women at Trump's behest. Now, in the tweets the president sent today, he again compared his situation to one involving President Barack Obama's 2008 campaign.
Let's go for it.
Now, here's the thing about that.
No.
The Obama campaign was fined $375,000 by the Federal Election Commission for civil violations that included things like missing filing deadlines for disclosing large donations and for not returning excessive donations quickly enough. So legal experts that we've talked to point out that that Obama violation consisted of failing to submit certain forms in time, while the Trump allegation involves large payments through shell companies and his lawyer. So one is negligent. The Obama situation is negligence. The Trump situation is knowing and willful, and that's a big difference. And that's why you had people like Jerry Nadler, the incoming chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, saying that those actions, this illegal scheme to pay this hush money to these 2 women, could be impeachable offenses. And that, Ali, has led to a growing fear, growing anxiety among Trump allies and Republicans on Capitol Hill that the White House is really in no way prepared for the legal and political danger and drama that awaits, and that the fallout of all of this could damage the party's prospects.
It's beautiful.
In 2020.
Just
Jeff,
freaking
thanks very much
beautiful.
for laying that out for us. Jeff Manafort at the White House. Friday's filing suggesting the special counsel's focus could be shifting to the president and his businesses. Let's review what's new here, starting with the Southern District of New York's filing on Michael Cohen. This detailed Michael Cohen's campaign finance violations
Regardless of what the president says, that's what they were, particularly these hush money payments to 2 women, Playboy model Karen McDougal, Stephanie Clifford, better known as Stormy Daniels. Cohen admitted that these payments were made to silence these women and influence the election. In Friday's sentencing memo, the U.S. attorney in Manhattan told the court, quote, with respect to both payments, Cohen acted in coordination with and at the direction of individual 1. Cohen has already identified individual 1, current President Donald Trump, former candidate Donald Trump. These payments are considered felonies. Now to the special counsel's filing on Michael Cohen. That was the Southern District of New York we were just talking about. This is separate. This is the special counsel, Robert Mueller's group. That filing revealed that Cohen's contact with Russians happened earlier than previously thought.
Come on.
The Trump Tower Moscow project in November of 2015, prosecutors said Cohen spoke to a Russian national who claimed to be able to offer quote, political synergy and synergy on a government level. Synergy is interaction or cooperation between 2 or more organizations. This offer happened just before voters in New Hampshire and Iowa went to the caucuses and to the polls. Now to Paul Manafort. In this 3rd filing, this is a separate filing that came out on Friday night, the special counsel revealed that Manafort had been communicating with a senior administration official right up through February of this year, 2018.
Gotta admit, I'm getting a little bit pissed off about.
May 26th this year, he authorized another person.
He's getting pissed off, man.
In a text to administration officials.
There's a coincidence that cannot be overlooked.
That Manafort had made false statements, what we know as lies. All right, as we extract the newest information from these 3 different court filings that we saw on Friday, the extensive communication between Russia and Trump's people, well, it's starting to come into sharp relief. The Washington Post counts at least 14 Trump associates were in contact with Russian citizens during the campaign and the presidential transition. That number has grown since the Post's tally last year that counted at least 9 Trump associates having contact with Russians.
Back to the test bed.
These contacts, quote, occurred at a time of sustained efforts by the Russian government to interfere with the U.S. presidential election. And the Post reports, quote, the past White House bid said that so much interplay with representatives of a foreign adversary is highly unusual.
Yeah.
With me now is one of the reporters on that piece.
That's right where I left it.
Political investigations and enterprise reporter. Rosalind, good to see you.
Right where I put that thing. Yeah, it's not so bad.
You and reporters and the rest of us should distinguish between interactions between people in Trump's orbit and Russians versus Russians who may have had connections to the government or connections to Putin or were in positions of influence, because the 2 are different.
They are, and that's a really good point. I mean, we know of some interactions that go directly to the Russian government. We've seen interactions with the Russian ambassador, with the deputy prime minister. Now we know that Michael Cohen spoke directly to the Russians. So we have these examples of direct contact with the Kremlin. We also have this sort of array of other kind of low-level contacts with the Russian lawyer, with a Russian banker, with a weightlifter, with a pop star. And so there's a
I don't know whose fault this round is, but it's definitely not mine. That's all I am certain of.
Certainly it stands to reason, given the way Russia works, that at least some of them were. They were sort of deniable cutouts for the Russian government, but perhaps none were, and certainly I wouldn't go as far as to assume all were.
So part of the issue here is that in many of these cases of these 14 individuals that you've identified, it would be fine if in the initial questioning of them by anybody, including the FBI, they would have said, I know these Russians, these are friends of mine, these are people I met at the party. But in many cases, there was
there.
Right. That's really perhaps the most striking thing here. You know, right after the election, when people were just really kind of coming to grips with the idea that the Russians had done something funky during the campaign, there started to be these questions. There was actually a Kremlin official who came out 2 days after the election and said, you know, we had a lot of contact with Trump associates, and the reaction from the U.S. was to deny that vigorously and completely, to say there were no contacts at all. And so you have to wonder at this point, why? Why deny it so vigorously if each of these moments were completely innocuous and innocent?
Rosalind, thank you very much for your great reporting in this. Rosalind Heller, political and investigative reporter at the Washington Post. In his first public appearance, former FBI Director James Comey told my colleague
18 holes to get that dragged down correctly, huh?
Showed there's obviously evidence that Trump obstructed justice.
At least it happened.
The obstruction statute requires a specific corrupt intent, and so we had evidence of obstruction that we needed to investigate further. But one of our problems too was, so what would the investigation look like? You're alone. It's my word against his.
Is the President of the United States right now an unindicted co-conspirator?
I don't know. Not in the formal sense that he's been named in an indictment, but if he's not there, he's certainly close, given the language in the indictment, in the filing, that the crimes are committed at his direction.
Joining me now, U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance. She's now a distinguished professor at the University of Alabama Law School and an MSNBC.
That's too much.
Joyce, good to see you. Let's just pick up right where James Comey left off. The filing that he's referring to, one of the three filings that came out on Friday, is the one that was filed by the United States Attorney, Southern District of New York. So this is not the Mueller investigation, in which they make reference to something we already knew. Michael Cohen had said he was directed to make these payments by Donald Trump, or by individual one, as it's referred to in the documentation. Now the SDNY is saying that they believe that to be the case. The president then tweeted out on Friday night, this totally clears the president, thank you. But according to what the way Comey's interpreting it, the Southern District of New York says that they believe individual one, the president now, is the guy who directed Michael Cohen to make these payments in order to keep these women quiet, so it didn't hurt his election chances.
Yeah, that's exactly what Southern District of New York does in this pleading. And the point that Director Comey is making is, I think, an interesting one. When you talk about someone as being an unindicted co-conspirator, you would expect to see an indictment that might say Michael Cohen and others known.
Yeah, that was very frustrating.
Conspiracy to do, whatever the object of the conspiracy was. We don't have that.